Hi, so let's try to understand what are the basic forces that are going to act on an aircraft. So to understand what are the forces acting on an aircraft when it is trying to maintain the steady level flight at certain altitude. So these are the forces that are going to act on the aircraft, and that is lift, thrust, weight, and the drag. So these four forces are considered to be the basic forces which are acting on an aircraft when it is trying to maintain a steady level flight at certain altitude. Since we have understood what are the four basic forces acting on the aircraft, let's try to know what does each term stands for. So when I'm talking about the lift, definitely this is not the lift of an aircraft. So what exactly is the lift of an aircraft? It's a force. Lift is a force which is acting in the opposite direction to the weight which is produced due to the forward motion of the aircraft through the air, which is trying to lift the aircraft above the ground or lift the body above the ground is what is referred to as the lift force. So next comes the thrust force. So what is the understanding of the thrust force? Thrust is a force which is acting opposite to the drag force, and this thrust force is responsible for the forward motion of the aircraft. So thrust force is something which is propelling the aircraft in the forward motion, which is leading the aircraft to move ahead, and which comes from the engines. This is what is nothing but the thrust force. So now coming back to the drag force. So when you're talking about the drag force is a force which is acting in the opposite direction to the thrust force and also acting parallel to the free stream velocity. So the drag force is something which restricts the motion of the aircraft, which causes hindrance in the forward motion of the aircraft, is what is referred to as a drag. So now coming back to the last force is the weight force. The weight force is coming from the entire weight of the aircraft which is acting against the gravity force. So these are the four basic forces that are going to act on an aircraft when it's trying to maintain the altitude with a steady level flight.